Okay, now what's great about this story is, I mean, Dewey and I have been friends since I was in 10th grade and Dewey was in ninth grade. And we've been friends since then, which is over 20 some years, 25, maybe more. Um, and I guess he never heard this story. I guess I'd never told it to him. And I guess because it involved like a different group of friends. And I'm gonna change their names to protect the innocent here. We'll go with Lyle, uh, Ron, and Jake. And me, Ron, and Jake would, or Lyle, Ron, and Jake and I would all go. We'd like to go to the mall because what are you going to do in the late 90s when there's no internet and it's cold outside? It's Maryland. And so we would just we would have Lyle drive us because Lyle couldn't hold his liquor, and we could all drink on the way to the mall. And I guess it was White Marsh Mall. Is that the one that's the double decker, Wes?
That is White Marsh Mall. Yes.
So anybody that knew malls when they were thriving knows that there was always this particular store. It was the trinket store. And this particular trinket store was like right at an entrance, and it was right on the corner, prime real estate. Like you could cut through to get, to save yourself about 15 extra steps. Now, if you walked in there, you had like those little glass blown figurines, like little glass fairies that your mom might buy and put inside like a little dome glass case. And then you would have maybe some good old Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt 1/16th scale NASCAR collector's items. And then at the counter, you would have yourself like a nice, what do you call that? Brass knuckles knife that was sitting there.
Sure.
And then some nice Zippos. And then behind the guy hanging on the wall was a replica of the original Highlander Katana sword. And Kyle would Kyle. So much for anonymity. And so Kyle would walk through this fucking store, and every time we go, like, yo, let's go, we'd be like, oh, let's go to the food court. Like, hold on, guys, I'm gonna go look at this sword. Like, you're never gonna buy that fucking sword, Kyle. You're wasting our time. Stop it. And so for months, Kyle would walk past this thing, and finally Christmas time comes, and Kyle's got $250 in his pocket.
Got money.
He's got his money from his grandma in his pocket there, Wes. and so what do asshole friends do when somebody's got money in their pocket? They start gassing them up to buy something that they don't fucking need. And so finally, like, yo, Kyle, you've been looking at that sword for like 6 months. You got the money. Why don't you buy it? He's like, I don't know. I don't want to spend that kind of money. Like, all right, well, we're not going to stop and look at it with you. And he's like, okay, I'll be right there. And so he stays behind. And then about half an hour later, he comes through the food court. He's like, guys, guess what? What? I did it. You did what? I bought the sword, guys. Like, holy. And then, in all honesty, we all got a little like, oh, shit, he bought that sword. Think of all the things that we can do with a fucking katana blade, a fucking samurai sword.
How much?
So the night goes by. It was like $250.
I don't even think I'd do that now.
No,
let alone like 3/4 my net worth,
especially in 1996.
Yeah,
I don't even know. I mean, that's got to.
The only reason
I don't know if the
money is because of post Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, now that'd be like what, maybe $400 roughly in that area. So we're like, oh, where is it? And like, oh, the guy's going to keep it behind the counter for me. All right, cool. So we do our thing in the mall where we walk by and probably freak out like, 17 to 19-year-old girls that are never going to talk to us in the first place. We're already half drunk. We make our way back to the trinket store. We get the sword, and it's in a box, like a 4-foot by, I don't know, 8-inch square box. And we're like, all right, what are we going to do with it? By this point, we're leaving the mall. It's 10 o'clock. The mall is closing. So there's no cars in the parking lot. And Kyle's like, all right, guys, here's the moment we've all been waiting for. And he opens up the box and he pulls out the sword and he sets up the box like on the end, right? So it's sitting to where, floor to his eyeballs. It's sitting up perfectly. He kind of balances up there and he gets the sword out of the plastic and it's in its sheath. And in like perfect samurai jack stance, he stands there and slowly pulls the blade out. Puts the sheath down, gets both hands on there, and you can just see the silhouette of Kyle underneath the fucking street lamp, just like he looked legit. And as much as we wanted to make fun of him, he's like, guys, watch this. And then just with bated breath, we watch as Kyle gets his arms back in like a perfect baseball swing, comes down at that perfect 45-degree angle, and whoop, hits the box. Box bends in half and flings about 3/4 of the way across the parking lot. The look of just utter disappointment and the mockery he was waiting to hear from us. Of course, we all busted out laughing. But in a way, all of our dreams died in that moment. And then he just starts looking at the sword blade like, it's not even sharp. It's a fucking replica. Like, yeah, it's a fucking replica. Did you think it was forged in Mordor and given to the guy in White Marsh? No.
And I want to say is that the subject, Lyle, of this, I just Mur, you dove right into it, and you still painted a great picture, because the whole like ceremonial fucking unsheathing and the stance, the perfect thing that he's probably been choreographing for the last 4 months. But this guy was pretty gullible. It's pretty goofy, and the fact that you guys like gassed him up for him to do it, and then for him to get super ninja on you in the parking lot of a fucking mall. Watch this.
But I think this isn't really one where I'm completely mocking him, because I mean, none of us were going to spend $250 on a fucking katana blade in a mall. But once he had it in hand, it's like the moment became real for all of us. We're going to see some sweet ass Leonardo Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles slicing and dicing action. And to watch that box bend in half, not even a cut in the box, just a straight bend. Like,
so sad.
Folded it in half. And this is like in like the glistening winter air, and just, I don't know. I think we were probably all equally disappointed. We didn't even give him much shit for that. And I don't know what he did. I don't even remember where the sword went. I don't even remember it going in the car. I don't remember driving home. I just remember thinking, well, that was $250 worth of a letdown.
It went to the corner of his fucking closet. That's it. Live there for the next, I don't know, couple years. Gone.
It's probably still there now, where he sleeps.
Oh God.